Chelsea Football Club is going through a rebirth. A club once known for its ruthlessness is now building something different, younger, hungrier. And right at the heart of this rebuild, a trio that could define an entire era: Enzo Fernandez, Moises Caicedo, and Reece James reborn. This isn't just about tactics. This is about three players who climbed from nothing, battled through setbacks, and now carry the weight of Chelsea's future. Born and raised in the outskirts of Buenos Aires, Enzo Fernandez wasn't always destined for greatness. He wasn't a child prodigy or some flashy talent that had every scout in South America tracking his every move. He was quiet, almost too quiet. At River Plate's youth academy, he had the fundamentals, neat passing, good intelligence, but nothing that screamed future superstar. And that was fine with him. Enzo didn't talk much. He just trained harder than everyone else. When River loaned him out to Defensa y Justicia, some thought it was a step down, but Enzo turned it into a step up. There, under Sebastian Becasese, he transformed. He didn't just grow technically, he grew as a leader. He started dominating games, dictating tempo, and reading the field like a chessboard. And by the time he returned to River, he wasn't just part of the squad, he was the engine. His performances were so commanding, European scouts couldn't ignore him anymore. Benfica came calling, and in just 6 months, he turned the Primera Liga into his personal playground. But nothing changed his life more than the World Cup. Argentina needed control, balance, a midfielder who could link play without fear. Enzo stepped into the lineup mid-tournament and never let go of his spot. By the time the final whistle blew in Qatar, he had a World Cup medal around his neck and a trophy for Best Young Player in his hands. Chelsea moved fast, £107 million fast, a British transfer record. They weren't just buying potential. They were buying a mentality, a player who had climbed levels at rocket speed but never lost his composure. So how does Enzo actually work in this Chelsea setup? Under Enzo Maresca, he's the metronome, the one who makes everything tick, a cross between a deep-lying playmaker and modern box-to-box midfielder.
Enzo Fernandez!
He's got the elegance of Thiago Alcantara, the positioning of Verratti, and the passing range of Toni Kroos. But he's not just a flair player, he gets stuck in. He breaks up play. He knows when to risk the line-breaking pass and when to slow the tempo down. But what really sets Enzo apart is his timing. Whether it's releasing a runner, spinning out of pressure, or winning a crucial tackle, he does it all with intent. He doesn't just react to the game, he reads it. In a system that values build-up from deep positional control and layered possession, Enzo is a perfect fit. He's not a passenger. He's the one driving the bus. Now, if Enzo is the brain, Moises Caicedo is the heartbeat. Born in Santo Domingo, Ecuador, Caicedo's journey to the Premier League was anything but smooth. He grew up in poverty. He didn't have boots, and sometimes not even a football. What did he have? Hunger. Football wasn't a dream, it was survival. He trained on dirt pitches, watched games on stolen Wi-Fi, and through all that, he never stopped grinding. By the time he joined Independiente del Valle's academy, he was already thinking like a pro. Brighton took a chance on him when most of Europe just passed. He barely spoke English, he struggled for minutes, but when his moment came, he took it with both hands. Caicedo didn't just break into Brighton's midfield, he took control of it. He was tackling, intercepting, carrying the ball through the middle, and setting the tempo. He was a destroyer and a connector. He had that rare blend of athleticism, football IQ, and calm under pressure. When Chelsea made him the most expensive signing in Premier League history, the pressure was immediate. £115 million is a number that turns heads and invites criticism. But that's nothing new to Caicedo. He's been fighting against the odds his whole life. Caicedo is the balance that every midfield needs. The player who covers for others, wins the ball back, and keeps the rhythm flowing. He's often compared to N'Golo Kante, and sure there are similarities, the endless engine and the smart interceptions, the humble demeanor, but Caicedo brings something else too, a bit of Patrick Vieira in him. That physicality, that authority. And what makes him special is his understanding of space. He doesn't just chase the ball, he anticipates it. And once he wins it, he doesn't play it safe, he turns and drives forward. In this Chelsea setup, his job is crystal clear. Protect Enzo, cover the flanks, press intelligently, and transition quickly. He's the glue between defense and attack. And next to Enzo, it's a terrifying duo for any opponent. So if Enzo is the brain and Caicedo is the heartbeat, Reece James is the soul. Born and raised in West London, trained at Cobham, lived and breathed Chelsea since he was a boy. Reece James had the kind of rise that just felt inevitable. A complete right back, pace, power, technique, and one of the cleanest crosses in the game. By the age of 20, he was already starting Champions League matches, captaining the side in his early 20s, beloved by fans. But there's been pain too. Injuries, recurrences, setbacks that stalled momentum and tested his resolve. Every time he looked ready to hit the next level, something pulled him back, usually his hamstring. But now, under Maresca, there's a shift happening. Reece James is being reinvented, not just to protect him physically, but to evolve his game. He's no longer just a right back, he's becoming something much more. Reece James is now being deployed as an inverted fullback, stepping into midfield during build-up play, helping overload the center, and adding another layer of control. It's a role that demands intelligence, positional awareness, and technique, all of which Reece has in abundance. People question why you'd move one of the best right-backs in Europe out of his natural position, but the answer lies in longevity and impact. In midfield, Reece doesn't need to sprint 50 yards every play. He reads, positions, recycles possession, and picks his moments to push forward. It's less explosive, but far more sustainable. And when you add his natural strength and leadership, well, he becomes a key piece of Maresca's puzzle. He's not just there to defend anymore, he's there to control games. What's beautiful about this trio is not just what they do individually, but how they complement each other. Enzo is the tempo setter, Caicedo is the ball winner, Reece is the hybrid, floating between lines, offering balance and structure. Their chemistry isn't manufactured, it's built on understanding, on trust, on thousands of training minutes and real match experience. And they're all still young, still learning, still hungry. That gives Chelsea something rare, a midfield core that can grow together for 5, even 10 years. We're not just watching a system being built, we're watching a bond being formed. But let's not sugarcoat it, the Premier League is brutal. The Champions League is even tougher. In England alone, they'll face Rodri, Declan Rice, Bruno Fernandes, Alexis Mac Allister, and that's just the midfielders. In Europe, Real Madrid, Bayern, Inter, midfield monsters with experience, chemistry, and depth. There will be growing pains, and definitely some bad games, maybe even bad months. But these three have been through worse. Caicedo played barefoot. Enzo got loaned out of River Plate. Reece has spent more time rehabbing than playing some seasons. They've all been doubted before, and they've all answered in their own way. And now, they'll have to do it together. Enzo Fernandez draws comparisons to Cruz, Verratti, and Thiago, players who controlled tempo, passed through pressure, and played with elegance. Moises Caicedo is likened to Kante and Vieira, the warriors who fought for every blade of grass but could still play with finesse. Reece James, a modern Philip Lamb with more physicality, a leader in the mold of Terry but with the poise of a midfielder. They remind us of the past, but more importantly, they give us hope for the future. Chelsea's midfield is no longer a weak spot. It's the foundation, the identity. It's what Maresca will build his system around, what the fans will rally behind, what every top team will have to figure out how to break down. Enzo, Caicedo, Reece. 3 players, 3 different journeys, but one shared goal: to restore Chelsea, to bring trophies back to Stamford Bridge, to write their names into the club's next great chapter. and they're only just getting started. If you believe this midfield trio has what it takes to bring Chelsea back to glory, hit that like button and drop your predictions in the comments. Subscribe for more deep football stories, tactical breakdowns, and behind-the-scenes evolution of the game's biggest talents. This is just the beginning, so don't miss the journey.